Good evening and welcome to the November 20th, 2014 City of Hollister Planning Commission meeting. May I have verification of agenda posting, please?
Yes, Chair. The agenda for the Planning Commission meeting of November 20th, 2014 was posted Friday, November 14th, 2014 at 4 p.m.
Thank you, William. Commissioner Lenore, will you lead us into the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Carol. Can I have roll call, please?
Commissioner Alvarez? Here. Commissioner Lenore?
Present.
Commissioner Torres?
Here.
Commissioner Harvey?
Here.
Chairman Haboy?
Here. And I'm asking for approval of minutes dated October 23rd, 2014.
Chairman, can we make one minor comment before we make that motion? I'm sorry,
Certainly.
Commissioner Torres. On the item for on the last page of the minutes for the Walnut Park 14, how the motion was carried, it indicates 3-1-1. There was one with the correction to motion, instead of indicating 3-1-1, it should indicate 3-0-2, because the second one indicates that there was one that said nay, but it was actually one that recused himself, Commissioner Huboy. So it should be 3-0-2.
Okay.
Well, thank you for catching that.
Yes, no, absolutely.
Okay. So I have a motion.
Make a motion on those amendments.
Amendment.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Those minutes are approved with the correction noted. Communications from the public on items not listed on the agenda. Do we have any speaker cards? Anyone care to speak on any item not on the agenda this evening?
I have no speaker cards.
Okay. No speakers. We move on into public hearings. Item number 1, conditional use permit 2014-3. Claudio and Lubelia Silveria. The applicant is requesting approval of a conditional use permit to allow the construction of a 1,200 square foot metal accessory structure at 16 feet in height in the R1 PD residential zoning district located at 1671 Quail Run, being more specifically described as APN 059-030-007. CEQA is categorically exempt from CEQA pursuant to Section 15303, Class 3E accessory structures. Staff report, please.
Sure, thank you, Mr. Chair. The applicant is requesting approval of a conditional use permit, as you mentioned, to allow the construction of a 1,500 square foot metal accessory structure in an R1 PD residential zoning district. The height increase beyond the 15-foot standard for accessory structures is to accommodate the height of the RV height clearance. The proposed accessory structure side yard setback would be 5 feet along the eastern property line. The proposed accessory structure also meets additional setback standards of 10 feet from the main residential dwelling, and the exterior of the building would consist of metal siding on all elevation sides.
The property is located within the Quail Run gated subdivision and is subject to the Quail Run Architectural Committee, CCNRs, and Homeowners Association. The applicant has provided the city with a signed Quail Run HOA Architectural Committee report and attached meeting minutes from the August 20, 2014 meeting, approving a building to not exceed 30 feet wide by 50 feet long by 16 feet in height. The city would recommend that the approval be consistent with the approved dimensions made by the Quail Run Architectural Committee and Homeowners Association. The location of the proposed accessory structure is located at the rear of the property behind the main home. The meeting minutes indicated the access easement to the rear of the site was only a verbal agreement from the property owner as long as specific conditions are met. The minutes did not convey that the HOA supported the statements regarding the easements. City staff requires a clarification letter from the Quail Run HOA indicating that this is the approved easement to the rear portion of the property prior to the building permit issuance. It's per condition 17 in the draft resolution. The condition states, Prior to building permit issuance, the applicant shall provide the city planning department with a copy of a recorded easement between the applicant and the neighboring property owners, granting additional vehicular access to the project site, or a signed letter of clarification from the president of the homeowners association that they are in support and recognizing the approved easement to access the rear of the property. And just to add, staff did speak with the president of the homeowners association, and they're going to be working on providing that letter to the city. So with this, staff recommends that the planning commission review the applicant's request, receive all written and oral testimony regarding the proposal, and consider approving conditional use permit number 2014-3, subject to the findings and conditions contained in the draft resolution. Any questions?
I have one question on the, it's clear that they're asking for 16 feet, not 16 feet, 10 inches.
Yes, it was amended later.
Okay.
Correct. So we're going to be, staff's going to be recommending consistency with the requirements for the architectural committee for Quail Run. So initially, the applicant went in to that committee meeting with a proposal of 16 feet, 10 inches. So we're going to recommend consistency with the architectural committee for Quail Run,
Which is 16 feet.
which is 16
0
feet
inches.
maximum.
Okay,
Correct. Mhm.
thank you. Any questions for staff? Okay, with no questions, I'll open up the public hearing now at 6:06 PM. Do we have any speaker cards on this item?
I do not.
Would the applicant care to address the commission?
Not sure
Doesn't
the applicant
Any
is
questions
here.
for the
Doesn't
applicant?
appear that they're present tonight.
Okay, I will close the public hearing at 6:06 PM. Bring it to the commission. Discussion, comments?
We entertain a motion?
I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we adopt resolution PC 2014-34,
-34.
approving conditional use permit 2014-3 with the conditions and findings as stated.
Second.
Who was the second? Greg? Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Item 1 is approved. Okay. I'm going to read item number 2, and then I will recuse myself for conflict of interest because Hugh Boy Architecture provided architectural services for item number 2. And in my absence, I will call on Vice Chair Carol Lenore, to fill in and proceed. So site and architectural application number 2014-12, Family Pet Care. The applicant is requesting approval of a site and architectural application for the placement of an approximately 399 square foot modular building behind west of the existing Family Pet Care veterinary clinic in the downtown commercial and mixed-use DMU zoning district. The site is located at 38 East Street, being more specifically described as San Benito County Assessor's Parcel Number 054-220-012. CEQA is categorically exempt from CEQA pursuant to Section 15332, Infill Development Projects Class 32.
Okay, we're ready.
The applicant is proposing to place a single-story, approximate 399 square foot modular building on a permanent foundation for an employee lounge and storage behind an existing 1,440 square foot veterinary clinic building, which is the existing Family Pet Care Center, on a 6,120 square foot lot. The building would have a storage area and an employee lounge area with a kitchen, sink, table, and chairs. The new modular building would measure approximately 12 feet and 3 inches wide by approximately 33 feet, 10 inches in length, and 15 feet and 10 inches in height. The modular building would be secured on a permanent foundation and have horizontal wood grain exterior siding. An American with Disabilities Act ADA compliant accessible ramp would be constructed at the east side of the building with a clear path of travel to the entry door. The modular building would have a minimum of 17-foot separation from the existing 1,440 square foot main veterinary clinic building. The east and west elevations of the modular building would have multiple windows along the horizontal board exterior siding. The entrance to the building would be on the east elevation. The north elevation would have multiple windows, a gable roof, and a horizontal board exterior siding. The main body color would be, the company is Dunn Edwards Whisper, which is a creamy white, with white trim and a tan color roof to match the existing main building. An approximate 40 square foot, 2 foot by 20 area would be designated at the rear of the new modular building to be used as a rain garden to collect roof water. The rain garden would have drought-tolerant shrubs.
Thank you, Joe. Parking will remain the same with 3 parking stalls on the northwest area of the site with new bumper guards, 1 ADA van accessible parking stall on the southeast area of the site, and 1 additional parking stall on the northeast area of the site for a total of 5. The ADA van accessible parking has an unobstructed accessible path of travel to the main entrance of the existing main building. The modular building would have a permanent foundation per the California Uniform Building Code. The proposed modular building has been designed to avoid large, unarticulated shapes in favor of 4-sided architecture with variation of the building facade with color, facades, roof lines, and building heights to create interesting differentiated building forms and shapes as indicated on the plans or here in the screen as well. The building relates to the character of the surrounding neighborhood, including but not limited to the massing, bulk, and scale per section 1708-030 of the Hollister Municipal Code. With this, staff recommends that the Planning Commission review the applicant's request, receive all written and oral testimony regarding the proposal, and consider approving Saturn Architectural Review number 2014-12, subject to the findings and conditions contained in the draft resolution. Does the Planning Commission have any questions for staff?
Any comments? I'll open the public hearing at 6:11. Is there any speakers?
I have no speaker cards.
Okay, having no speakers, we'll close the public hearing and bring it back to the commission.
This is a pretty straightforward one, so I will go ahead and make a motion to approve site and architectural application 2014-2, PC resolution 2014-35
Yes.
as presented.
Second.
The motion is passed.
Was that Alvarez a
Oh,
second?
just like-
I think so, I'm not sure.
Okay.
That was, yes.
Motion seconded, and all those in favor say
Aye.
aye. Thank you.
Thank you.
And just for clarification purposes, you meant site and architectural 2014-12, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Resolution
I think you said 2, but that's okay.
2014-35.
All right.
Okay, we'll get David.
I'll get it.
You got him? You need to come back, I'm not as good as you.
Denied.
Okay.
Okay. It was unanimous.
Okay.
He knows.
Good. Okay, congratulations. We'll move on to item number 3, site and architectural application number 2014-13, Del Curto. The applicant is requesting approval of the site and architectural application of for 2 multifamily units in the downtown mixed-use zoning district. The site is located at 651 East Street, being more specifically described as San Benito County Assessor's Parcel Number 054-031-005. CEQA is categorically exempt from CEQA pursuant to Section 15332 Infill Development Projects, Class 32.
Thank you.
Joe?
The applicant is requesting approval of a site architectural application for the construction of 2-unit multifamily development on a .06 acre site in the downtown mixed-use zoning district. The site plan illustrates that the project will include private open space, parking, and one existing alley access, Browns Alley, from East Street. The residential building will consist of 2 3-bedroom, 2-bath units. The building would be 2 stories tall, standing at 24 feet 5 inches. The proposed elevations would have a stucco finish. The plans illustrate that each unit would have its own laundry facilities. Unit A would have approximately 289 square feet of private open space in the form of a courtyard. Unit B would have approximately 190 square feet as a second-story balcony. The project meets private open space requirements per Section 1708050 mixed-use zoning district supplemental standards. The site plan illustrates an alley access from Browns Alley directly from East Street. Unit A would have a single car attached garage and one covered parking space directly in front of that garage. Unit B would have a two-car garage. The project meets off-street parking requirements per section 1718-060, number of parking spaces required.
Thank you, Joe. The project site is within the downtown commercial mixed-use zoning district. The district allows for project sites to have 25 to 40 units per net acre. This would allow the project, based on its size, to have from 1.6 to 2.4 residential units. The project is proposed with 2 units and meets the minimum density of the downtown commercial mixed use. The property is located within the Alquist-Priolo Special Study Seismic Zone. Per the Alquist-Priolo Earthquake Fault Zoning Act, a project can mean either a subdivision of land which is subject to the Subdivision Map Act and which contemplates the eventual construction of human occupancy, with the exception of a single-family wood frame or steel frame dwelling not exceeding 2 stories, when that dwelling is not part of a development of 4 or more dwellings. The proposed project is a 2-unit multifamily development on a .06 acre parcel. The development is not part of a development of 4 or more dwellings on one lot and is not exceeding 2 stories in height and is therefore exempt from the Alquist-Priolo Earthquake Fault Zoning Act. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission review the applicant's request, receive all written and oral testimony regarding the proposal, and consider approving said architectural application number 2014-13, subject to the findings and conditions contained in the draft resolution. Does the commission have any questions?
Any questions for staff?
For parking, Abraham, you said that, will there be street parking that's considered as part of like visitor parking, or is that addressed at all?
It would be parking on site, on the site, or off-street parking that would be considered for the project.
Because it's in the downtown assessment
That
district.
it's in downtown.
Parking assessment district.
The designer just showed the cars as for scale on the street, so it wasn't intended for the parking. So the vehicles located on the project site would be the unit parking. Please.
It's in the parking district, isn't it?
But it will have
It has its own.
parking on the site as well.
For the residents.
For the
Correct.
residents.
But their company, their visitors would park in the street.
Correct, and that's
Which is fine.
And that's fine,
Mhm.
which is fine. That's correct.
The downtown assessment district, that's currently active.
That's active. That's correct.
The Alquist-Priolo zone requirement, has it been that way for 4 units, or has that recently been changed? Just curious.
As far as I could remember, it's been like that.
It's been like that?
Yeah, since I've been here 7 years.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, and we deal with it, not a lot, but quite a bit because of the fault lines that we have through the county, through the city. Yes.
Be nice if it allow for some infill development in those commercial buildings without having to go through extensive studies.
Good point.
Okay. Any other questions? Without any questions for staff, I'll open up the public hearing now at 6:18. Any speaker cards?
No speaker cards. The applicant's here, though. No, okay.
Would the applicant care to
No,
address the
that's all right.
commission on that? Any questions for the applicant? I will close the public hearing now at 6:18. Bring it back to the commission. Comments?
I do have a comment. I really like it. I'm really excited to fill that lot in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I know you've had it for a long time, and I'm glad it's working out for you, and that's definitely going to be an improvement. Nice design, too. That's all.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other comments?
Chris?
No.
I'll entertain a motion.
I move that we approve site and architectural
2014.
2014-13,
There's 13, yes.
PC Resolution 36, is that the right number?
2014?
2014-36, as in the staff report.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That item is approved. Congratulations. Now we'll move on to item number 4. Site and architectural application number 2014-11. Les Schwab Tire Center. The applicant is requesting approval of a site and architectural application for the construction of a 10,400 square foot building for tire sales and installation within the General Commercial Zoning District, GC, of the City of Hollister. The project is located near the northwest corner of Tres Pinos Road and the Highway 25 bypass, just north of Walgreens, being more specifically described as San Benito County Assessor's Parcel Number 020-010-021. The site is proposing a new curb cut along McRae Street at the southwest corner of the site and an internal connection to the Walgreens lot. This site will not have direct access to the Highway 25 bypass. CEQA mitigated negative declaration. Abraham or Joe?
Right, thank you. The applicant is requesting site and architectural approval for the construction of an approximately 10,400 square foot commercial building for tire sales and installation, the Le Schwab Tire Center, on a 1.33 acre site. The property is located within the GC General Commercial Zoning District. The exterior of the proposed building would be a variety of glazed CMU block colors, including mahogany and red. There would also be two varieties of polished ground face CMU block in Mission and Rutherford to be used as wall finish on the west and south elevation. And if anybody's interested, there's a material board available as well, located on the center table. The service bays would have 3 roll-up doors, each for the south elevation as well as the north elevation, to be painted sailcloth or cottage red. For the east elevation facing the Pinnacles National Park Highway, Highway 25 bypass, and partial south elevation facing the existing Walgreens, there would be a glass window storefront lined with aluminum in classic bronze. The site plan indicates 30 vehicle spaces, with 2 of the spaces designed as ADA spaces. The sales area of the building is proposed at approximately 2,680 square feet. The office area of the building is at approximately 1,586 square feet. The warehouse area of the building is approximately 2,541 square feet. And the service bay area of the building is approximately 3,840 square feet. The grand total of parking spaces required for the project would be a minimum of 45 spaces. The applicant would be required to provide bicycle parking of 5% of the vehicle spaces, with a minimum of 2 per building. The parking would not meet the 45 space minimum and would be required to record a reciprocal parking agreement with Walgreens to the south, per condition number 56 of the draft resolution. The site will have vehicular access from McRae Street and would have internal vehicle circulation connected to the existing Walgreens to the south and provide future potential connections to the north. Per section 1708.030, Commercial and Mixed Use Zone General Development Standards of the Hollister Municipal Code, the use of recorded reciprocal parking agreements is encouraged to reduce overall paving requirements if compatible hours of operation or types of use can be proven. So patrons may drop off their vehicle at the Le Schwab site and have an option of shopping at Walgreens while their tires are being serviced. The applicant is proposing locations of 5 wall signs for the proposed building. The south elevation would have an entryway wall sign stating the Le Schwab Tires franchise, along with individually cut illuminated yellow 1-foot 6-inch channel letters to read alignment brakes shocks to be mounted above the service bay doors. The north elevation wall sign would be individually cut illuminated 2-foot channel letters to read Le Schwab Tire Center, to be located along the roof line to face future commercial development to the north. The signage for the east elevation to face Pinnacles National Park Highway would be individually cut illuminated 2-foot channel letters to read Le Schwab Tire Center, to be located along the roof line. The west elevation would have individually cut illuminated yellow 1-foot 6-inch channel letters to read Le Schwab Tire Center along the roof line to face McRae Street access.
The applicant is proposing one freestanding monument sign to be located perpendicular to the Pinnacles National Park Highway bypass. The sign would be able to be viewed from 2 sides, from the north and the south. The proposed monument sign would stand at 8 feet tall and 13 feet 6 inches wide. Total sign area is proposed at 37.7 square feet. Per the Hollister Municipal Code, mid-sized commercial centers, such as this one of 10 to 20 acres, allow 132 square feet freestanding sign up to 8 feet tall per every 300 feet of lineal street frontage. With the exclusion of the square footage calculation of the base and decorative features, the proposed freestanding sign would meet the requirement set forth by the zoning ordinance. Also, the sign would be at least 300 feet away from the existing Walgreens sign and therefore meet Section 1720.090 of the Hollister Municipal Code. The sign base would be Rutherford gray touchstone to match materials used on the Le Schwab exterior for uniformity. The address would be a 1/4-inch thick, flat cutout aluminum numbers and letters to be located on the sign base. The freestanding monument sign complies with Section 17.20 signs of the Hollister Municipal Code. The applicant is proposing to construct a dual-use trash enclosure at the western section of the project site. One section of the enclosure would contain a dumpster for trash collection from the facility, and the second section would be allocated for temporary storage of tires. The exterior would be an 8-foot-high ground-face CMU wall with an upper section using Mission, and the lower portion of ground-face CMU would be using Rutherford to match proposed building elevation materials. The enclosure would also have 2 metal doors painted classic bronze. A condition has been placed on the project that the applicant would be required to provide the City of Hollister with a letter prior to building permit issuance indicating that the pickup for recycled tires stored within the approved enclosure area shall be removed every 5 business days. The frequent removal of these tires would limit stacked tires that could potentially accumulate standing water, which becomes ideal habitat for mosquito populations. The applicant has proposed various drought-resistant plant materials and water-conserving irrigation devices. The applicant would be required to submit a landscape application package to the planning department and receive landscape approval and installation prior to final of the building permit to ensure compliance with the water-efficient landscape ordinance. A variety of trees would be used to align the parking spaces for shade and visual relief. The landscape proposed would also provide screening for the trash and tire enclosure by introducing bougainvillea and pink jasmine to be grown along the trash enclosure. The proposed landscape would also define the pedestrian pathway leading to McCray Street. Pervious surfaces would be proposed at 13,580 square feet, which is approximately 24% of the project site.
The city is meeting the general plan zoning and complete streets concept by requiring shared driveways and avoiding excess driveways along McCray Street as the commercial center develops and providing for proper connectivity within the commercial center. At this time, the commercial site has 2 access points directly from the proposed Le Schwab site to the Walgreens site. One access point will utilize the existing Walgreens driveway to the public right-of-way on McCray Street, and the second will be directly from McCray Street at the north end of the Le Schwab site to be consistent with the complete streets plan. The applicant is proposing an additional driveway to be added north of the Walgreens driveway that would be inconsistent with the complete streets plan and the general plan by not using coordinated access from main roadways. Staff will recommend access points to be consistent with the complete streets plan. The Le Schwab site would have 2 access points to the future commercial to the north directly from the project site as well. No vehicle access would occur from the Highway 25 bypass. On January 7th, 2011, the City of Hollister City Council approved Ordinance 1072 to pre-zone the site for future annexation. A mitigated negative declaration was adopted for this pre-zone anticipating commercial uses in the 16.64 acres of land to the west of the Highway 25 bypass. On February 23rd, 2012, LAFCO approved resolution number 2012-01 approving the annexation of the 22.62 acres into the city of Hollister. A general circulation plan and narrative prepared by the Hawkins Companies were submitted with the Le Schwab project in response to mitigation measure I-1. The Hawkins Companies is the builder for the proposed Le Schwab project and not the owner of the parcel. The narrative addresses the design standards that shall apply to the general commercial area of the property, including gathering spaces, street frontages, building articulation, circulation, and landscaping as required by mitigation measure I-1. The designated truck routes near the project site. We have a slide showing a demonstration Walgreens, a previous project, and they show a larger delivery vehicle making a circulation out of the site showing the exit to be on McCray Street. So the La Schwab project would also have the traffic exit onto McCray Street headed north to East Park to Highway 25. So the designated truck routes near the project site consist of the Highway 25 bypass and Tres Pinos Road. Truck routes are designated to keep trucks away from residential areas. The anticipated truck access to the applicant's site is expected to be the designated Highway 25 bypass truck route to East Park Street to McCray Street in order to enter into the site and vice versa. A condition of approval in the resolution states that the applicant shall use the designated truck routes that serve the real property in relation to the business.
Prior to this meeting, staff received a comment letter from Ms. Miriam Montesinos of the Pelosi Law Group, representing the property owner of 1.9 acres of the retail center situated to the west of McCray Street. The comment letter was provided to you a little while ago. There's also copies of the letter at the in the hallway as well for the audience. And as a matter of formality, I will read the letter in this item. It states, Dear Planning Commissioners, we are submitting this letter on behalf of our client, R.I. Hollister, LLC, regarding the proposed Les Schwab Tire Center located on a 1.33 acre site west of Pinnacles National Park Highway, Highway 25 bypass, north of Tres Pinos Road, south of East Park Street, and east of McCray Street. Our client owns 1.9 acres of the retail center situated to the west of McCray Street, which center has access via signalized driveway at the Lad Lane, Tres Pinos Road intersection, and one unsignalized driveway on McCray Street. Currently, a number of vehicles traveling eastbound on Tres Pinos Road access McCray Street by turning left at Lad Lane and traveling through the main drive aisle of the retail center to the unsignalized driveway on McCray Street. We are concerned that development of the Les Schwab Tire Center will result in an increase in the number of vehicles using this path of travel. Thank you in advance for your time and consideration. Sincerely, Miriam Montesinos. In response to this letter, the City of Hollister 2005-2023 General Plan Policy C2.3 requires new developments to provide internal connection and linkages to adjacent neighborhoods and community facilities. Internal connectivity or linkages can allow for safe pedestrian pathways, easier vehicular access. It reduces distances of vehicle trips, therefore minimizing air emissions, allows for better access for police and fire in case of emergencies. We also want to state that if the property owner to the west of the Les Schwab site so desires, the city will not be opposed to the installation of traffic calming measures, such as speed bumps, sign regulating speed, prohibiting trucks from entering the site, or making the path of travel from one intersection to the other inconvenient by requiring meandering travel. Any improvements that the shopping center desires to make on their own property, the city would gladly be willing to discuss. With this, staff recommends that the Planning Commission review the applicant's request, receive all written and oral testimony regarding the proposal, and consider approving site and architectural application number 2014-11 with revisions to the site plan to conform to the approved complete street plan, subject to the findings and conditions contained in the draft resolution. Does the commission have any questions?
Any questions for Abraham? So I guess you're saying that about the comments from the Pelosi Law Group is that you would be entertaining traffic calming measures for future development, such as speed bumps and that, but not necessarily with this project?
Not necessarily for this project. If the property owner to the west so desires, we would be willing to talk to them and discuss measures, traffic calming measures that they would like to implement. At this point, the city encourages more of the connectivity linkages between existing shopping centers, and with this proposal, it's being proposed as submitted right now.
We're clear on the correction that you're recommending to the site plan then.
That is correct.
And we're talking about traffic calming measures on their site,
On their site.
not
yes.
on the McCray or the Gibson site.
That is correct.
And you've gotten back to this law firm?
Commissioner Alvarez, we've been back and forth communicating by phone and through email, basically just discussing what they've asked questions, they asked to see the site plan, and we've been we provided the staff report to them, we provided the site plan, and so they indicated that they were, I'm not sure if they're here, but they indicated that more than likely they were not going to be able to attend. But we didn't talk in person, just by phone, but they wanted to submit the letter just to have it, to present it to the commission.
Okay. Yeah, because I see this is the 18th, so I just want to make sure that you got back to them, you know, and then you told them what you're telling us.
Not,
so that they-
good,
so
good,
that they-
not,
Yeah, they know exactly, you know, that they can do some improvements on theirs, and that we would work with them to help, you know, traffic calming. You know, 'cause
Not
I know I
since the
use that
letter.
area too, and I do the same thing, going through there, so I'm guilty, you know, but I'm sorry, you know, I stopped by, you know, hopefully, I think there's, you know, Dollar Tree one day, and then, you know, the pizza place, and you know, the little Goodwill store, so.
sure.
Okay, yeah, I don't work with I don't have any accidents there, so that's my, you know, when Walgreens came in, I was very afraid, and I've always watched that corner, and so far, you know, it's been very, very good, it's worked out fine, so
Okay.
I just wanna keep it up.
Speaking of
Thank you.
of Walgreens, they're going to be using some of their parking spaces. How many is it that they're short again?
Based on the Hollister Municipal Code and the calculations that it requires for the service of vehicles, I believe right now is it 15, Joe? I think they're proposing 30, and I think based on the calculations, it shows that there's an overall use of 45. But then again, it's a minor vehicle use, basically drop off one day type of service, drop off and pick up. So while they're dropping it off, you know, people can go use Walgreens,
They can go around, they don't have to.
other, yeah,
Okay. Mhm.
yeah.
And it's intended to act as a full shopping center, so as the north develops, the parking will be cohesive throughout, so Walgreens will be sharing with Le Schwab and so on and so forth, so that way it works as a large cohesive center.
Absolutely.
I
Mhm.
see.
So the secondary access, so I'm looking at the Hawkins Company's site plan 10 sheet. So the opening that you're talking about, that will be improved as part of the shared access, will that have to be changed again later, once the build-out of those 5 additional buildings in that retail center? Or will that be the last change for that particular access point? It's the Hawkins master design site plan sheet.
Access through McCray Street, we're recommending that it's consistent with the complete streets design, and so
Here's the larger area. So the area to the Walgreens, if you look to the far right, it's kind of this kind of above Abraham there, that kind of area that's a little shaded, that's the Le Schwab site. And so they would just have to work coordinating with city staff, how they would coordinate with the complete streets. That was presented at a previous planning commission meeting. And the draft was concept was approved by the city council. So we'd want to work with that for the access points for the project. Initially, the applicant had proposed a driveway located here centrally. So utilizing the Walgreens shared access here, and then the applicant was proposing to cut a new driveway here, but it would be inconsistent with the complete streets. So city staff wanted to recommend that they utilize the shared access for Walgreens, and then reworking the coordination with the proposed roundabout entry and how that would work out would, at this point, work with city staff.
So you're not, there's no, from Walgreens all the way to the end, is that McCray? How are you gonna get, do you have to go on the sidewalk to access all of those? You can't cut through Schwab and then whatever's on the other side?
for pedestrian access,
Yes.
Commissioner Alvarez, there will be 2 walkways from the existing Walgreens to the Le Schwab. So there will be 2 driveways that would be able to connect to Le Schwab as well, and then there's also going to be a pedestrian access to McCray Street from.
Okay. I'm just afraid of people cutting all the way through there, and again, having another pedestrian accident. You know, like when you go from Target to you know, when you cross targets, expansive parking,
Yeah.
you take your life in your own hands. So, you know, I grab my kids' hands and
Sure.
both ways, so I just, you know, if we can avoid those, that's my concern.
Those
right there,
conflicts
so.
with vehicle and
There
pedestrian.
would
Yes.
more than likely be a striped pedestrian path with truncated domes from the beginning and the end of that pathway when they go across the vehicular drive. Okay. Any other questions? No questions, further questions for staff. I'll open up the public hearing at 6:40 p.m. Yes, speaker cards.
I have no speaker cards.
Is the applicant in the audience care to address the commission?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Commissioners. My name is John Scanlon. I am the real estate manager for Les Schwab. And thank you very much for all of your time and listening to these professionals here explain exactly what we're doing. They do better than I. So thank you very much for your help. Just a little quick synopsis on who we are. Les Schwab is a tire retailer, as you know. We are headquartered in Bend, Oregon. We have currently about 450 locations in the West Coast and are growing south into markets like yours, Hollister, Gilroy, and some of the surrounding markets we are looking in as well. We're fairly excited about Hollister. You guys obviously live here. It's a great little city, a great little town. We are pretty excited about being here, and we obviously are thankful for your efforts on our behalf. If this store gets built, which we hope it will employ somewhere between 12 to 15 people. We will have a manager and assistant manager that are already somewhere in our system that will be transferred to this location, and then the remaining jobs will be hired locally. So Les Schwab is a very, very understanding company about being part of the community. That manager, those employees, they will be involved in your churches, your 4-H clubs, your high schools, your grade schools, all of that. We believe giving back is really what makes it work for us. You can buy a tire in a lot of different places, as we know. What we believe we have better than anyone is service, and that's what we can do. And so, again, thank you very much. If you have any questions about Les Schwab specifically, please ask. Be happy to answer. So, thank you very much.
Just a question, sir. Thank you. On your palette of materials there, is that your template of materials that you use typically for your Les Schwab facilities? Or?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, looks good.
Where's also the closest Les Schwab?
Is it Los Banos?
Los Banos?
Yeah.
Okay. And I want to thank you for telling this community that you want to be part of our community.
Yes.
Because that's, you know, all we ask is that when you come in, you know, to be part of our community.
Yep.
You know, to embrace this community,
Yep.
you know, like we do, and respect it. And, you know, we will give to you, and just like you said, you know, you'll help us and give back to our community.
Absolutely.
functions.
Very important in our culture for our
Great.
company.
Appreciate that. I
Yeah.
appreciate you bringing that up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Good evening, Commissioners. I am Tara Mortensen. I'm with Galloway Planning, Architecture, and Engineering, business address 8050 North Palm in Fresno, just across the valley. I'm the Site Development Coordinator for Galloway, who represents the Les Schwab Tire Center's new stores across California and Colorado. We're the architectural and engineering design team. We're pleased to be here and appreciate all of the hard work from the planning department staff and that you all have dedicated thus far for our proposed project on McRae. We've worked with planning staff over the last few months, and we feel that we've come up with a site design that meets the goals and needs of both city and also Les Schwab and the developer. As a longtime visitor to Hollister with lots of family and friends in the area, I couldn't be more thrilled for you to have Les Schwab in your community, and I think that you will find them to be an excellent neighbor as well as member of your community. We thank staff for their hard work and ask that you support the application as proposed. If there are any questions pertaining to design or the project particulars, I'd be happy to help them or answer them. And thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions?
Any other speakers on this item? No speakers. I'll close the public hearing now at 6:45. Bring it to the commission. All I have to say is I applaud you for the use of materials. It's kind of modern. It looks like a tire center, but it has a nice modern look. You know, I like you've got a nice array of materials there that kind of breaks up the massing. I think it looks good. It's a nice modern look. I think it'll be a nice addition to that center.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys for considering Hollister. Thank you.
We have a lot of commuters, so that's a lot of tires. So if you can make sure they're all bought right here in this town, that would be good. And I do appreciate your commitment to Hollister. And you came down from Oregon, I see, or your company there. So if you know any of those other folks there that want to come on down, just spread the word. Thank you for your time and your investment in our city.
Entertain a motion.
I entertain a motion.
I move that we approve site and architectural application 2014-11, PC Resolution 37, subject to the findings and conditions in the staff report.
Second that motion.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Item number 4 is approved. Congratulations. Thank you. Okay, we go into new business, a proposal for City of Hollister utility box murals.
Mr. Chair, for the new business item, community member Mr. Roland Resendez will be providing a presentation regarding a utility box mural pilot project for the city of Hollister. Mr. Resendez is collaborating on this project with the San Benito Arts Council, with the California State Monterey Bay, Gavilan College, and local artists like Mr. Joel Esqueda and other community members whose focus in the mural painting program is to bridge social and cultural diversity in the community through public art involvement. The utility boxes that the program proposes to work on are located in the city of Hollister. Mr. Resendez is asking that the city be a partner in this program. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission review the presentation and by way of a motion, recommend to the City Council approval of the utility box mural pilot project. Without further ado, I would like to present to you Mr. Roland Resendez.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, fellow commissioners. My name is Roland Resendez, and I'm here to talk to you about the 2014 utility box mural project. We're calling it a pilot project because the whole premise behind it is that we're asking the city to basically invest in this project and sponsor 5 boxes. I think the city owns and operates about 15 throughout the city, and eventually we're going to go to individual businesses and ask for them to sponsor. We're following the same basically project the way that Gilroy's doing it, and that's how they've implemented it. We've been working real close with them, the police over there. So without further ado, let me just show you a little bit more. Basically, the objective is to reduce graffiti through beautification here in Hollister. There's been several studies done that show that if you invite local muralists to basically paint murals, and I'm sure you've probably seen them in the surrounding areas, it's going to deter graffiti, vandalism, that crime, and that whatnot. So that's basically the objective behind the project. History, obviously, that there's ongoing graffiti problems, not only here in Hollister, but throughout the state and the nation. So we want to address that. Myself and my partner, Joel Esqueda, we basically met with the mayor and we met with the chief of police here in Hollister, and we came up with a solution. We looked at what other surrounding cities are doing, not only here in California, but nationwide. There's Australia's doing it and whatnot. And basically, we provided you some examples, I believe, that you probably had access to that, of the different murals that Gilroy's implemented, as well as Capitola, Santa Cruz, and we wanted to bring that here to Hollister. So we've been collaborating with the City of Hollister, of course, San Benito Arts Council, Hollister Downtown Association, California State University Monterey Bay, Fort Hays State University, Gavilan College, and we have some of the students here that are going to be volunteering their time to work on the murals. Several community members, local artists, and Art for Change, who is a well-known educator here in the area, and he's a well-known muralist who's been acting kind of like as a mentor to myself and to Joel, the artist. So if I can, basically...
Who did that one?
That one.
Careful,
I had to throw that in
careful.
So I
Are you going to
wanted
do a
use
critique,
this-
are you, on that?
What's that?
Are you going to critique it?
No, absolutely not. I just
Okay.
wanted to use your logo because I thought it was a beautiful sign.
Okay.
And I just wanted to point out that right now there's funds allocated for the maintenance of these utility boxes. And Parks and Recs Director Clay Lee, he actually is the one that's in charge of that. And he agreed to go ahead and maintain the boxes after the artwork's done. So basically what we're gonna do is put like a protective coat, like a layer over the artwork, which is gonna protect it. And then if they're vandalized or anything, then Clay Lee and his staff are gonna go ahead and maintain them throughout, as long as we have them up. So I just wanted to point that out.
Right.
I have Jennifer Lane here, who's worked with the San Benito Arts Council, and she can come up and tell you just a little bit more about how we're collaborating with her in the project. Yes?
Before Jennifer comes up, you
Absolutely.
said that this has been implemented in Gilroy? Is that
Yes,
true?
yes,
They
all over
have?
Gilroy.
I'll have to look at that.
Yeah, and we've been partnering with, the officer over there, her name is Rachel Munoz, and it's a graffiti abatement program, and they're already, so we're proposing phase 1 to you. They're already in phase 2, so they've already got their 5 boxes sponsored by the city, and they're going around to other businesses, and then what they do is basically they pair the business with the muralist, and then they come up with the design. Of course, it's all got to go to the Planning Commission and City Council, and then they'll put the name of the business that sponsored the box. So that's where they're at with their project, and they began that project in 2011. So without further ado, I'll invite Jennifer Lane over here to tell you a little bit more about how we're collaborating with her agency.
Thank you, Roland.
Okay, thank you for inviting us to speak tonight or giving us some time here. So I'm Jennifer Lane with the San Benito County Arts Council. And we were very lucky to be approached by Roland and Joel back in the summer with this project. And as part of our broad objective, we are very enthusiastic about promoting the arts throughout San Benito County. And we're especially interested in promoting creative placemaking within downtown Hollister. So our role in this project is twofold. First, we're serving as a liaison with the various project partners. So we've convened a committee of our own to review the proposed designs and evaluate it for aesthetic and the conceptual design. And our staff and board members were all very enthusiastic, and so we gave it our own personal stamp of approval. We've also met with the design committee from the Hollister Downtown Association because, the downtown is their baby, so we wanted to make sure that they were on board as well, and they also were very happy about this project and gave us their approval. And then we've also spoken informally with the mayor, who, of course, is a big proponent of the arts and public art in general, so we know that we have his backing. And both Joel and Roland have done a great job making sure that all their ducks are in a row and they have everybody on board. So there's a great deal of consensus and local buy-in. So I think that they're on a good start and they have a good model going forward. Our second role is as fiscal sponsor, which is a role that we've served for other groups or organizations that don't have either their own 501c3 or they don't have the organizational capacity to easily, process funding. So in this scenario, with the budget, there's a request of $4,000 from local government that we would basically absorb, and then we would manage the finances. So we would pay the artist fees, we would pay out the materials fees in a direct service contract with the artists. That gives transparency to the project, and we also have the capability to take care of any taxes or 1099s, these kinds of things. So it's a very modest budget. I think that they've done their research. The request from local government for $4,000, that's right on target what we would recommend in the form of calculating artist fees and materials. We've included an in-kind amount here just for our role as kind of a project partner. And so basically in sum, we just hope that the Planning Commission can give their recommendation to the city for this project. Okay, thank you.
So I just wanted to, I'm going to show you the artwork. Before I do that, I just wanted to point out that basically, as Abraham stated, it's designed to reflect the cultural diversity here in Hollister and its history. We've got a rich history here. We're both local residents, so we're familiar with it. We've collaborated with different organizations and agencies, and we're going to go ahead and display the artwork to you and show you that. We kept that in mind. The first box that we're going to propose is a ballet folklorico/agricultural box. And we were working with an artist out of San Juan Baptista, and he actually took all of these images. We worked with a graphic designer, and she went ahead and photoshopped the images. So if you look at it, basically that'll be the front of it, that'll be one side, and that'll be the other side. And I've got before and after pictures of the different locations and whatnot. So this will be right at Quick Stop on Santa Ana and San Felipe. If you look at the box, you can see it's like vandalized and whatnot. That's a before picture of what it'll look like, and here's what it will look like after.
Cool.
Yeah, just to give you a visual image. Yeah. Next, we have a biker blessing box, and I don't know if you guys recognize Bob right there in the very front. He's our local pharmacist. He's also involved with the Top Hatters. We've got the biker prayer in the back. We've got a Hollister city limit sign. We've got a couple of Hollister bikers as well. So we're proposing that this one goes in front of the vault on 5th and San Benito, and you can see there also that they're vandalized and whatnot. They're not so nice and attractive before, but when you put it together afterwards, it really just brings a different aspect to the city and to the area. Next, we're promoting Farmers Market and Bryan local fresh produce. We've got the iconic clock tower. These pictures were actually taken at the Farmers Market, so we wanted to promote that. Here's before. It'll be on 3rd and San Benito. Here's what it would look like after, right in front of the Bank of America. And we got a Western theme here, and basically we wanted to include some hay bells, which is representative of Hollister. We've got a cowboy, just a Western theme. We wanted to put this one next to Country Rose on South and San Benito, and here's what it would look like before, and this is what it would look like after. And last but not least, we've been collaborating with Luis Valdez, and I'm sure many of you know that the film La Bamba was filmed here. We put together this mural to go on right on the corner of 4th and San Benito. We had to actually get in contact with Sony Columbia Pictures and get permission and whatnot from them. And we've got a lot of support from not only some of the actors that are depicted here, but also from the movie industry and the director.
Excuse me, on 4th and San Benito, where exactly were you thinking?
So I'll show you. Here's the box. It's right on the corner, and it's this is what it would look like before. There's 3 of them there if you look at it.
All right.
And it's going to be looking like this after. And we wanted to include Bob on the bicycle because that's representative of, the biker rally and whatnot. And it's just pretty iconic. And if you're not aware, sadly to say, Elizabeth Pena, who's over here on the very left, she passed away, I think not even a month ago. So we had started this project way before that, I think in the summertime. So sad to say she's not with us any longer. So this will be a nice way to commemorate her memory and, her contribution to making the film here in Hollister. Last but not least, I got in contact with Lou Diamond Phillips. He's the star in the movie La Bamba. And if you read at the very bottom, I just wanted to get his okay on it. He said that it looks great, and he wanted to give his love to the community, that he has such great, fond memories of shooting here. So I just thought I'd close with that. And again, I'd like to thank Abraham, Jill, all of the staff and the commissioners because they've really helped us. Gavilan College, and of course, Jennifer Lane from San Benito Arts Council, because without them, this effort wouldn't have came to light. So we're asking for you guys to approve this so that we can go forward to the City Council and ask for approval from them. You have any questions?
Any questions for Roland?
I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
I noticed on none of the murals that there's no partner recognition. Obviously, you've got some local groups that are involved in these. Would you guys then put some kind of small identification tag saying who those partners are in this type of project?
We weren't planning on it, but one thing that we would talk to the mayor about is having a unveiling ceremony. We'd invite the media, some of the actors, and I think at that time that would be a good time to recognize the different partners, and in the local newspapers and that type of thing.
Okay. Then the second question I had, maybe Dave, I don't know if this will go to Dave, but I noticed on some of those where there's the identification stickers the utility companies use, and as well as the warning labels.
Yeah.
Are those going to be relocated to an area that's clearly visible, or are they mandating that those warning labels or stickers be visible?
I don't know which ones you're talking about in particular, but I don't see them here.
That we were provided.
So I think the one that you're talking about, we had cut out. The second La Bamba one,
It was just looked like some kind of numbering identifier and then.
yeah, we
20.
were actually mistaken, and I'm not sure if that one belongs to the city or not, so we X'd that one out of
Yeah,
the.
just to be clear, that all these murals are proposed to be on city boxes, and I don't think that we have markings on our city boxes, so there are not going to be any Caltrans boxes or any PG&E boxes.
No.
Okay, so no high voltage
Yeah.
boxes.
No.
Okay.
Okay, good.
No, it's just, it's old traffic signal boxes, or not old, but all,
I see, okay.
all former Caltrans.
Okay, any other questions?
I have a comment.
Sure.
I think it's great. In fact, a few years back when I was working for Bell, I think I came with a picture one day from Santa Cruz, and I said, look at this, look at this, this is
Yeah.
really cool.
Yeah, that's what we
And
first
then I
saw
kind
it.
of retired and got sidetracked, but I really like the concept.
Thank you.
I do live downtown.
Cool, so do we.
So I go downtown a lot,
Yeah.
and I'm have a very emotional attachment to downtown, having grown up on that street almost my entire life.
Nice.
I would really like, in the future, think these are all great, if you could also maybe address our, how do you say, Old Town Hollister, maybe with some type of mural. I'm not sure, I'm not an artistic person, but maybe a boutique looking kind of thing.
Okay.
We have these little mom and pop shops downtown.
Yes, absolutely.
Maybe something mirroring one of those.
Okay,
But again, thank you. Great idea.
thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I also agree, and I want to thank you and the Arts Council and Gavilan College, and it's a wonderful idea. It's just, I think it'll do a lot to lift the spirits of our community to have the bright colors on these rather utilitarian-looking
We think so too.
boxes.
It brings the community together, and it brings a sense of belonging and recognition. So that's just going to basically detour like graffiti and vandalism. Say this is our city. We
Yeah.
care about it. We care about the way it looks, and we want you to respect that. You know,
Right.
It's
I'm
pretty
always
much-
in awe of the fact that they really don't graffiti those things once
No,
there's
no.
a code of honor amongst the
Absolutely.
graffiti people. So
Absolutely.
that's a good thing, but
Yeah.
again, those boxes are so ugly. Anything you do is gonna be an improvement.
We think so too.
God bless you.
Thank you. Same to you.
Is there thought about maybe somebody doing something with in conjunction with the Pinnacles, something that was sort of a national park
Yeah.
theme?
Yes, we
That's an
have,
idea,
and
yeah.
actually
It's a
it
good
was in
one.
our first proposal, but we deterred away from that idea. We're gonna collaborate in the future, like I said, with San Benito Arts Council to tackle the other 10 boxes, and these points that you're bringing up now are something that we can definitely pitch to the different businesses and consider, because we still want to stick with so that's why we're laying the foundation, is we want to lay these 5 boxes, we want you to invest in them, and we can go to individual business and say, look, we want to represent your business, but we still want to represent the ideals and the flavor of Hollister. So those are things that we can pitch them. How about doing a Pinnacle box? How about doing a mom and pop boutique, type of murals, those types of things. So
Yeah.
I think it's important to lay a foundation and the theme that we want to go with
Right.
first, and then build on from there.
I guess
think
you
it's
could also
great.
consider something to do with motorcycles.
We've got a
Just
motorcycle
put
one.
You got
I,
that one?
I
in?
like
Yeah.
the 3D ones look really cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, we've got a motorcycle one.
Did I miss that? Which-
It's,
where is
it's
that?
right in front of the vault, and we've got Bob from Save Mart Pharmacy. He's
Oh,
a
that's
local
right,
top
Bob,
hat header.
yeah, the pharmacist,
who he
that's
is.
Yeah,
right.
and it's got the biker prayer. It's got
Oh,
a
there it
couple of
is,
other
with the-
bikers that
He's
come.
he's a top header, I believe.
He's a top header, yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
there it is, right there,
Yeah.
of course.
I think it's great and appreciate you guys taking on the
Thank you.
project.
Thank you, Mr. Harvey. Appreciate that.
Thanks, Roland.
I have one comment too.
Yeah.
Please, in the future, maybe include the schools, to get the younger kids,
Yeah.
I don't want to say a competition, but, the best design or, maybe for the younger, first through fifth grade, and then the middle school, and then the high school, and then actually have them, help on
That's a
that. I
wonderful
think that'll
idea.
go a long ways, to helping graffiti when the children see that, here's something that they designed and there it is, for everyone to see. That'll
Yeah.
get them excited, not only about art, but our community, keeping
Yeah.
up our streets and things like
Absolutely.
that.
It's a wonderful
So-
idea. Yeah, like I said, I've been working with Chief Westrick behind it to consider a graffiti abatement program, and that's an idea that we can pitch to him to see that we can have a business sponsored the box, so it doesn't come out of the city, but then the whole premise behind it can be that we'll have a contest at the schools. That's a wonderful idea,
Yeah.
to sponsor one of the boxes, yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right,
Thank you
well,
very
thank
much.
you very
Appreciate
much.
it.
Appreciate it.
Nice to meet you.
Really appreciate that. And I had a question for staff regarding these mural projects. I'm not sure what the role of the commission is in approving mural designs. I don't think we've gotten into that in the past. It goes through the HTA, right?
No,
The
we
design
did.
committee, or do
We've
we,
reviewed them before.
do we really get into the,
Actually, what used to happen is we had a mural, kind of a mural program. If Carol will recall, several years ago, there was a person that was, an artist that was doing a lot of murals in town. And actually, the San Benito County Arts Commission is the one who was kind of designated on the city's behalf to sort of approve or deny murals that were basically done on private property. There wasn't a whole lot done on public property, and we tried to stay away from that to some extent. The council did approve a mural on public property not long ago, which is the little retaining wall at the end of, what is it, Monterey Street, right at Third. And then this would be sort of the second part that really is truly public property. It's public utility boxes. So I think what we decided to do is at least get your blessing before we go to the council, and kind of, we don't have a resolution per se for you to approve, but if you could make a motion that directs staff to forward this concept to the city council with a recommendation of approval, if this is what the commission's desires, it would be helpful for us to get off of this level, take it to the next level, and that way we can issue the appropriate permits and move forward, and obviously try to allocate the required funding necessary to actually complete the work. So that's why we brought it to you folks first.
okay, great. Hey, I'd like to make that motion, if you guys don't mind. Make the motion to recommend this to the city council and move it forward.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
All right,
Goes to the city council. See if where it goes.
thank you.
It goes all the way. Thank you very much.
Go get them.
Yeah,
That's gonna be good.
I love that, love this touchy-feely
I'll be
projects.
seeing you down there. I'll be checking you guys
Those are the ones
out.
I like to see. See more of them here. Okay, department reports.
We do have a department report. As we contacted earlier, the commissioners and other staff, and just wanted to make an announcement for the record that the Thursday, December 18th Planning Commission meeting, the usual time scheduled is 6 PM, and the meeting will be moved to 3 PM that same day, also located in the council chambers.
And there's a city party.
Yes,
later
there
on,
is
right?
a holiday
I hope you're all
get-together
going to
for
that.
the city.
so.
Yes,
You always
so
go to the city party.
that way the commissioners can attend and city staff can
Gabriel
attend.
die
likes to go
hard.
too. I
Yes.
know Gabriel
Good
will do
move.
Yeah.
that. Good move.
Okay,
Okay, so it's 3 o'clock.
Yes.
City party not sponsored by the city.
No. By your own individual
Yeah.
self, sponsoring yourself.
Okay.
So I will sponsor myself, yeah.
All right.
If anybody out there wants to sponsor me, though, I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll sponsor you.
Thanks.
I owe you anyway.
Okay.
We also want to state that today the key celebration for Hillview 2 was, and sorry, Commissioner Hiboy, was today. And so the property owners of 30 new single-family homes received their keys today. They worked very hard in building these homes with the help of South County Housing. And the process went through the city of Hollister, approved by this commission. And today they received their keys.
Which ones are those?
These are the ones
Buena
that are
Vista?
It's off of.
Buena Vista and Central,
Graff Road and, what's the
east
other?
of Bridgeville Drive.
Which organization is that?
South County Housing,
South-
I think South
yes.
County Community Builders, I think they,
Well,
their name now. Okay. And
that's a pretty moving ceremony, huh?
yes, it was really nice. The Hillview 1 was right next to it to the west. So it was 25 single-family homes. Now Hillview 2, 30 single-family homes, and property owners got their keys. Now it was one person mentioned, I think it was Dennis Lallard of South County, that even though it was raining, it was a shiny, sunny day, because I mean everybody that was there was just really happy and with smiles and very happy to have accomplished such a big ordeal, and now they have their home. So we're really happy about that.
yeah. And as Abraham was Abraham was there, and Jill and Bill was there, and Dave.
David.
And I got to tour one of the units, and they have, a lot of them have solar I think all of them have solar
Yes.
panels on them. One of them had kind of a wider side yard setback with south-facing windows to get the natural daylighting into the house,
For passive solar.
with passive solar, with a nice thick slab floor.
Yes.
And I was impressed. It was really a good celebration out there.
Yes.
Yeah. That kind of segued into my planning commission report. So we'll go into planning commission reports unless there's any other department reports.
That's it.
Okay. Planning commission reports. Commissioners, any reports?
I have a reminder for the Lights On celebration, not this Saturday, but next Saturday. And again, I would like to thank Watt Electric for hanging all the lights in our downtown trees. It's a lot of work. He goes to the expense to send his employees. So I really appreciate Watt Electric doing that for us again this year.
That's great, Josh Watt. Yeah, good friend of mine. And I want to say is that on the Veterans Day, I was there at the beginning of the ceremony at the Veterans Building. I want to thank Commander Love and the veterans groups for sprucing up the building. It was heartwarming to see so many people there, and the building looks great.
They've done a fantastic job.
Really, really good.
That's my
good
favorite
ceremony.
building downtown.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I had very fond memories of the building, and it's good that we're going to keep that landmark building going. So
That's great.
thanks to all the veterans.
That's great.
That's my report.
Okay.
Wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving Day. And with any further ado, I will entertain a motion for adjournment.
I move we adjourn.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned till December 18th, time 3:00 p.m. Thanks for coming.